Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyazifunde incwadi ezibhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese siza la sizokhuluma ngazo le incwadi esuke sizifundile, senzela laba phela basuke bengenasikhathi sokuthi bayifunde nalabo basuke benqena nje ukufunda. Uma ngabe you are one of my viewers abathanda izincwadi zesiZulu, we have moved i-content yezincwadi zesiZulu ukuthi ziye kwenye i-channel ebizwa ngokuthi Zulu Books by Ntando Mdletshe. Ngizofaka ilink la ngezansi. Make sure ukuthi you are subscribed to that channel. We are already doing a new book kuleya channel, kodwa sisazoqedela le ebizwa ngokuthi Liyozeline nangakithi kuyona le channel. So just make sure you are subscribed to both channels so you won't miss out on the content. Guys, if you are new on this channel, we are doing Zulu novel. It's hot. Stories is landela manje. It's very exciting. Subscribe to both the channels. But yeah, even if ungawabuka ama Zulu stories, please subscribe to that channel just for support, please you guys. And siyaphinda ke kule channel futhi sibuka ama reality shows ethu ala eMzansi, bese siza la sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senze ama reviews or ama recaps, bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga any other issues avukayo uma ngabe sesiwabukile lama shows ku TV. And namhlanje senza episode 8 we show yethu ebizwa ngokuthi Living the Dream with Somizi. And go episode 8 ke Somizi is back from Cape Town obviously, and ulaphayana ke ka Shoni Mkhize. Yazi Shoni Nkosi yami uvela sikhumbuza ukuthi a lot of us seza la emhlabeni nje sizophelezela Nkosi yami Shoni ukuthi bazophila impilo yangempela. Ayisiphelezele bafethu, ayisiphelezele, like siphelezela boShoni ukuthi bazophila impilo yangempela. Mabekhombisa her house, I can't even say ukuthi it's her house. Mabekhombisa, is that a mall? It's not even a mall. That thing is bigger than what? Bigger than the pavilion, but mall enkulu, it's bigger than it's the west and the east and the west and the whatever wing and the south wing and whatever. That is a mansion, to be honest. So they did show it a little bit, and then maungena phakathi, it's like, yeah, this is how heaven is like. You know, we are working very hard to get to heaven. Sean is already in heaven. It's a beautiful house. The decor in that house. Amakhosikazi akwe real housewives bangavele bakhishwe isisu mangafaka uSean. Mangafaka uMamkhize on Real Housewives of Durban, because she's living. Yeah, she's living. In my next lifetime, yeah, I wanna be Sean. I wanna be Sean. So Somizi is talking about the ugut and only special people bangena endlini kaMamkhize, you guys. I mean, unama helpers are Asian. She has Asian helpers endlini yakhe. Ama house executives akhe are Asian. So it's another level of being rich lapha. So ukhuluma ngako ukuthi only special people bangena kwi bedroom kaMamkhize. I guess they're getting ready to go to a function baya kwa Max. I don't know what's happening there. And yeah, baya Max naye, so they're getting ready. I think the theme is all white because they're all wearing white. They're doing their makeup. Someone is doing his makeup. No, Sean looks ready. She looks beautiful. I don't know why guys abantu on Twitter they like saying ukuthi uMamkhize akagqoki kahle. Mina ngeke ngibone egqoka kahle ngazi guys. Ngeke ngibone egqoka kahle honestly. But khona leyo nto leyo yayishiya ukuthi uyahluleka ukugqoka. And bakhuluma ngako, I guess uMamkhize uyamthethisa nje uSomizi ukuthi ngathi akayithathi serious indaba yeSARS. They were supposed to meet, and there were documents that he was supposed to send to uShoni Mkhize so that she can help him out with indaba yeSARS. uSomizi ukhala ngokuthi ama lawyers kaMamkhize are very expensive, which maybe that's why bagcina bezithathile impahla zika Somizi ngoba wagcina ngayanga kuma lawyers. Ngoba uthi ama lawyers kaMamkhize ayabiza. But I guess, I mean, that's a thing, you guys. That is a thing for me when it comes to this SARS thing, Somizi, because why would you pay so much for the lawyers, just pay the money that the SARS say you owe. Because you're going to take your money and pay it to the lawyers, just pay it to SARS. At least if you pay it to SARS, it goes to the government and they chow it. But I don't understand, you guys. I don't understand. How much do you have to owe SARS to think that it's worth it for you to pay the lawyers that you yourself are saying they're very expensive, rather than just pay SARS? Because at the end of the day. So yeah, and I guess she's also talking about indaba divorce. She wants to help him with the divorce, but it did make me a little bit suspicious because some of my viewers have been saying ukuthi wenze ngamabomu Somizi ukuthi imali yeSARS angayikhokhi vele befuna ukuthi yonke le mali yabo that they were supposed to get with uMohali igcine iwe kwiSARS. So it was his strategy sokuthi angakhokhi lutho. Maybe that was the advice that he ended up getting from the lawyers ukuthi no, just don't pay SARS so that they can take that money, instead of Mohali athole le mali leya that they were supposed to get for the show that they did with Showmax. Just don't pay SARS, they will collect that money. So maybe that was the advice, we don't know. Anyway, he's promising good to know he will work on that mase bebuyile la kwi function so that they can sort it out in the divorce and in the SARS, And then the next thing, it was Palesa meeting with a friend. This friend is like a guy friend, which I was like, these people have dated before. People that have had something before. I didn't get his first name, you guys. So they're meeting and they haven't seen each other in a while. And honestly, you guys, I don't know if any of you picked it up, but I feel like Unzimande sold out to Lokozana Palesa for the show. I think for the producers, I think our producers really wanted to get into the story Siga Palesa because she dated this guy who was open 10, meaning that he was much younger than she was. And at some point, she was denying that she even knows the guy, but the guy said that they had been in a relationship for a long time and whatever. And Palesa wanted to commit suicide, I think, because he wanted to break up with her or something like that. And then she was denying that this guy was saying were not true. I really felt like, because it was, there was no reason to talk about that at that particular time. I just didn't understand what's ingena, but I feel like our producers wanted to extend a storyline Siga Palesa, but she probably refused to talk about it. Like even in this scene, she doesn't want to talk about it. But Lonzimande lo abamlethile is pushing and pushing and pushing ukuthi kukhulunywe ngale issue, which at the end I didn't even understand why were they talking about it. Why was it relevant at all to talk about it? But I really do feel like maybe they paid Unzimande, the producers paid Unzimande to make sure that they talk about this one issue. Yeah, it just felt like it was just a conversation that was a little bit out of place for me. How I'm realizing my thing is missing. What happened to my thing? So yes, anyway, so I realized that my mind is all over the place. But my thing was that I didn't feel like that story was just relevant because the show is about Somizi. So the only reason I could find was that they are trying to create a storyline for Palesa. So they felt like they wanted to talk specifically about that issue, And so that's why I say, because maybe they paid him to say just prompt on this issue so that she can talk about it. Anyway, so they're talking about this guy and he feels like she never wants to talk about it, And I think if your friend says she doesn't want to talk about it, we don't want to talk about these mistakes that we made when we dated these people that were not worth our time, And I think maybe she probably feeling like that because he wasn't worth my time. Why am I going to continue talking about this person? But Unzimande feels like he doesn't understand why he doesn't want to talk about it, because it's something that happens. Apparently there is a story about them being in a hotel together. She explains it to say that no, she was there with the other people and he showed up at this hotel And Unzimande is like, just admit at the time he charmed you and because he made himself look like somebody that he was not. And apparently this guy had taken photos of some pills and say Palesa wanted to take these pills and kill herself, and she says no, why Gola at the time. And she had said go to Yakola, and then this guy said go to no, my sister works at Tembisa hospital, and gave them those pills. And then the guy took a photo of the pills. It's not amapilisi so go to befun bulala. And yeah, but guys, it felt weird talking about it. Abasihlelanga kahle that story to introduce it into the show. So it just felt like a conversation that was just really like out of place. And I think that this conversation was supposed to expose Palesa somehow, and for her to not feel like she's being exposed by the producer, but she was. Also, khona lapho futhi ulona Unzimande talks about the fact that Palesa calls him sometimes engagqokile, calls him naked, and he'll be like, yini uyaqala yini ukubona amabele. Honestly, you guys, I feel like it was a betrayal of friendship, to be honest with you. I feel like it was a betrayal of friendship. Why did he need to mention that on the show? So I do feel like he must have been paid to say that, to talk about those things with the Palesa on the show. Or he was also fighting for his 15 minutes on the show, because otherwise it just didn't make sense. Why is he talking about it? But also it made me look at Usis Palesa like, Sissy, why are you calling your male friend ungagqokile? Hey, I guess some of you guys, they have different kinds of friendships. I do have guy friends, but yay, they do not know me naked, okay? I do not have them on a video call and showing them my boobies, because this guy doesn't even, I don't think that he's even gay, because if you have a gay friend, sometimes you can be like, yeah, whatever, But yeah, it did make me feel like, how are you calling Unzimande naked, Palesa? Anyway, Palesa feels like, yeah, now this guy, the Ben 10 was just a guy who wanted to, who came into a life for clouds, and all of the things that he was posting was for clouds. I really felt like we did not get the full story like the producers meant for us to do, because Palesa really didn't want to talk about it. So she wasn't willing to give us the details and explain from beginning to end. I met this guy, this is what happened, because there are photos online with him and this guy, but asisitholi leso story ukuthi ngahlangana naye senze ukuthi i-fallout was caused by this, and this is what I think about him. She just expresses because this is a guy that was chasing clouds, so that's why he was in his life, but he didn't give enough details for us to put the story together. I hope she can recognize that, so that she can know how these producers work when it comes to reality shows, because you always just have to be prepared. When you sit down for a conversation with somebody, you don't know the briefing that the person has received from the producers, and if there are people that would want their 15 minutes of fame, they will betray you while you are doing that scene, and you don't have control on what ends up making it to the show. So even if afterwards she did talk to the producer and she was like, guys, this is not something that I want to talk about, it's not something that I want to make as part of the show, she probably didn't really have a right to stop it. She didn't have any powers to stop it from making it to the show. Honestly, the way that the conversation went, if I was one of the producers, I just would have not make it as part of the show, because it was just, for me, it was just a waste of time. It was just a scene that ended up not making a lot of sense to all of us, especially a lot of us that didn't have a background of what happened with this guy. Because had they spoken to her to say, we really want you to share this story, maybe it will help another woman to be aware when they meet these guys, what are the things that they need to look out for when they meet guys, especially being celebrities and all of that. And can we just go through that whole story on how it happens and where you are in that relationship? And she agreed to it. And when Unzimande comes, she's not surprised, because that is the conversation they're going to have. It would have made so much more sense. That scene, it didn't make sense because they were talking about an issue that she did not want to talk about. and she didn't reveal more than Unzimande was able to force her to reveal. So it was just a waste of a scene for me, in my opinion, you guys. Okay. And then the next scene, which was the last scene, was Ubahome with Somizi. They are still talking about the surname issue, guys. I guess this issue is just gonna be talked about for the whole of the season because it is one of the main storylines this season. Honestly, what I learned from this scene, guys, is that when it comes to surnames and surname changes, when it comes to kids, it's the best time to do it is when they are kids. The best time to do it is when they are kids, because when they are older, you have to first they have to agree to want to do it. They want to do the change of surname, but also they're already grown. They have their own beliefs, so you can't force the kids to go through the process that they themselves don't believe in, to align what you want to do as a parent and what you believe in as a parent and what your child believes in as a child. Because if they are over 18, you can't force them to do anything that they don't want to do, and it becomes difficult. That's what I learned from this scene, because Bahumi just wants to change her surname. I guess what I'm getting from her is that she wants to go to Home Affairs and just change her surname, which she can do, because she's over the age of, she's over 21, so she can do it. My partner changed his surname as an adult, and she didn't need anything from his parents or anything like that. He was able to do it. So it had been something that was not able to be done when his parents were still living, but he was able to do it. It was such a simple process. He went to Home Affairs and he changed his surname, and I think about whom he can actually do that. But Usomizi and the family and whatever they want to do, bahlabe babenjani bashise impepho and all of that. And I think that is the conflict between the two of them, because she says, let's just change the name. All of this other stuff I don't believe in. I don't believe in Awangazi just because I'm not using the same name. And I don't want to do izinto customarily. I don't see the need for it. But Usomes is like, you have to do it. I can't force you to do it, but I feel like you have to do it. And the adults, if I just change your surname without this whole thing that I think they just need to find the common ground. I think if I was Somizi, I would just say, Bahumi, you can go to Home Affairs, wenzi lokuzana, ushintshe isibongo, and then we will do the rest of the, because she says vele mabehlabela amadlozi and stuff, Bahumi, she's there, she's present, she will help and all of that. She just doesn't feel like she needs to interact with amadlozi so much at this point in her life, and they just they have differences in beliefs, and I think that's what's making this very simple process very complicated. Hambane msamo nishisa impepho ingani hambi Home Affairs iyoshintsha isibongo. It's really not as big of a deal as they're making it to be, in my opinion. Anyway, those are the differences that they're having. Usomizi feels like she cannot have the surname if engafuni ukuthi ene ahlabe. Ngathi umncikiselela nesibongo, uncikiselela kanjani ingane yakho nesibongo when ingane yakho. Sometimes I don't want to lie, guys, I have times when I feel like, does Usomizi have questions about the paternity kaBahumi? Because at times I feel like he makes it difficult for her. If this is something that is very important to your child, just do it for your child and do it as quickly as possible. Why are you dragging it? Do you not feel like Bahumi maybe? Why are you making it so difficult for her to do it? But yeah, those are the differences that they have. I think they will have to find a common ground at some point. And honestly, you guys, I do not want to see this storyline in season 6 when it comes to living the dream with Somizi, because they have just overdone it. They've dragged it for far too long. But guys, that was the episode for today. I was hoping that at some point Somizi Beno Kanyimba would be able to do a scene together so that we can see how they resolved that issue that they had when he went to Cape Town and she never came, like they had agreed that she was gonna come. but it doesn't look like they're going to get into that. Yeah, anyway, you guys, that was the episode for today. Please like the video before Npumegiona. Tell me what you think about this episode in the comment section. Share the video with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nginithanda kakhulu.